From those experiences going forward, you go into this healing journey with the therapist who tells you, okay, you got to slow down on the psychedelics. You too much of that up front. How do then they start to come back into your life? And what influence do they have at that time? How old are you at that time?
But I remember I started interacting with different energies.
As you still are part of the food chain. So if you know that you live in a place where there are animals that can eat you, it kind of changes your mindset a little bit.
Have you encountered other people with those goblins? Have you ever seen the goblins?
Awe of the stage of the progression where I'm at in this experience and what I'm able, how the beauty that I see this universe unfolding before in every moment.
For me, it's unbelievable. I agree. I've always thought I'm living life, but also life is living me.
So first of all, don't cling to the experience. Any spiritual master, at least that I trust, would say you can't permanently stay because it's a state of consciousness. It's not a stage of consciousness, it's a state of consciousness. So you will inevitably fall out of it and sometimes be grumpy and overwhelmed and love your partner and sometimes say, this specific thing about my partner I don't like that much, or about my business relationship. So I think a good thing is really just training your humility. The other thing is what I strongly recommend for every human being is have a daily practice, whatever that is. It's not really that important. Is it breath work? Is it yoga? Meditation is also just a word because there's gazillions of different meditation techniques, but train your state of consciousness every day without a substance. I also recommend without a teacher. You know, the teacher is only the finger pointing to the moon is not the moon. Ultimately, the teacher should give you a technique, a tool, a question or something like that over which you ponder for many years. And when it comes to integration, to be very honest, obviously I usually try to take, for example, a full day off, or something like that. I'm more a guy than going into the spa or going on a prolonged walk in nature. Ideally, obviously, you have a certain moment in space-time that you don't need to engage in the daily hustle and grind of normal day, whatever, entrepreneurial life, I mean, this very specific point in space-time in 2017, which I always coin as the breakthrough in my trauma therapy, was in the intensity like a samadhi experience, but very this worldly. It was like finally, in an odd sense, I mean, it was a 10-day retreat, kind of a 10-day ever ongoing non-stop group therapy, right? With a type master shaman and a complete rundown of your psyche. So when I was finally in this like totally overwhelmed, I don't even know my name, totally like almost like psychosis state, she took me and said to me, now you're there, now you get a one-on-one. So I'm sitting in that chair, trembling, crying, snort coming out of my nose, just totally overwhelmed in my whatever state that I was in time and again for 37 years. And then, since we were training all sorts of things, she was just sitting in front of me in a chair and was just telling me, Alistair, are you aware that you are creating this? And I was just, snort, my life, the universe, the collective consciousness, this shitty part we are in humanity, And then it was really, again, just a bolt of lightning in my psyche. And I had this, what? Looking at her, and she's like, yeah, do you get it? Do you get it? Are you here? And I'm like, fuck. She's like, yeah, you create your life circumstances. You create your relationships, your business partnerships, your romantic partnerships. You are the only one that's responsible for that. And that was really just like, fuck. It was so deep and profound. And then she said, okay, like kind of, it was on day 6 or 7 of this 10-day retreat. And then she told me, okay, it seems like from this day on, you can start building what you think you understood on the inside. And ever since, this cycle of, trauma victim, is really minus 99%.